And God is like, well, dang, I don't know how much more clear you want me to make it.
Give me a really good feeling all day long.
Hey you guys, it's Tori, also known as Live Miss Liz, and I am back with another episode. Now, this video is one of those accountability things. You can call me your accountability partner, okay? Okay. It's not them, sis, it's you. And sometimes it's easy, all the time, it's easy to be like, oh, it's them, woe is me, I'm the victim, it's their fault, this, that, and the third. It's so easy to be in this alignment of, they did this, they did that, da-da-da-da. It's not always the case. And I'm gonna be honest and transparent, and I'm gonna say a lot of my past relationships or situationships or whatever the case may be, I can look back, and regardless of how bad the guy was, regardless of how dirty I got done, regardless of the fact that I might have been one of those women that walked so Risa Tisa could run, regardless of all of that, I can see the part that I played in contributing to the problem. I played my parts. I played my role. And if I wouldn't have played that specific role, I would have never had that problem. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Please tell me you are. So essentially, we all have our roles that we play. We could be enablers, we could be yes men, we could be whatever. We could want to be liked so bad that we play a role and then we become subsequently a part of the problem. So I can look back and I can say, I was part of the problem. I contributed to this trauma. I know that for a fact. Literally, there's no situation that I've been in relationally where it's like, I couldn't even bump relationally. I've just been in some really bad situations where I could go back and say, and that right there is where I messed up. That right there is one thing I could have done differently to change the outcome of this entire situation. But we don't always want to do that. Sometimes we like to look at situations and say, you know, I'm just going to look at the bigger picture because it's easier. It's easier to look at the bigger picture. It's easier to be like, you know what? All of this is happening to me, and that means all of y'all have stuff y'all need to fix, and there's nothing I need to do to better myself. 9 times out of 10, there's something you could find that you could be better about. There's something you could do that could help you progress a little bit. Or there's something that you could bring awareness to in yourself to help you be a better person in general. But we often overlook these things. Now, if you're not constantly growing and constantly evolving and constantly changing and progressing throughout life, then you might not really be living. You might be just waking up, going through the motions, and then going to bed and calling it a day. But over here on this side, people who are with me, who are listening and who I'm listening to, we're all moving, okay? We're all growing, we're all progressing. Pick up a book, read it. I like self-help. That's my genre because I be trying to help myself, okay? And in order to cultivate what we want in our life, we have to contribute to the solution. If we contribute to the problems, we have to then turn around and be able to contribute to the solution. If you feel like you've been going through the same motions in your life, whether it be relationally with like romantic partnerships or platonic relationships or working relationships, if you have not been changing or doing anything to better yourself, you are actively participating in insane behavior, insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. If you can look at one of your friends or look at one of your confidants and say, I don't know why I just keep going through the same thing over and over and over again. Then essentially you are doing the same thing over and over and over again. And in order to get the change to happen, in order to get the pivot, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, at what point did I go wrong? At what point did I get off track? At what point did I contribute to this situation? At what point did I contribute to this problem? You can't have a life full of problems and never try to contribute to a solution. And in order to know what we did wrong, then we might have to go back and retrace our steps to figure out what we did wrong ourselves. It is not always them. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes it's the people you pick. Sometimes it's the conversations you have. Sometimes it's the things you put up with. Sometimes it's the things you overlook. You want to be liked so bad you don't speak up for yourself. You want to be liked so bad that you don't put your boundaries in place. This is something that can roll over into so many different different aspects of life. Because in saying you want to be liked so bad that you don't speak up for yourself, you want to be liked so bad that you don't put your boundaries in place, that can transfer into work situations. You want to be liked, so you say yes, even though you know the answer is no. You want to be liked, so you put yourself in compromising situations because you're incapable of setting a boundary of what you do and do not want to do. No was a complete sentence. No, not at all. No. And sometimes our yes to things that we know we shouldn't say yes to is exactly what puts us in situations that then we have no option of what to say yes or no to. We're just there. And now we're like, bamboozled, so confused. We don't know how we got here. We can't tell up from down. But if we go back to that yes that we gave when we knew we were supposed to say no, come on now. But if we genuinely retraced our steps, if we genuinely wanted to understand how we got here, we could find an answer, because you are a willing participant in any nonsense in your life. And I mean, take the word and apply it how you will, apply it how you want. But I could think of a number of situations, a number of things where it's like, had I been the person I needed to be upfront, I wouldn't have had to deal with the back end. So all I'm saying is, sis, bro, it's not them, it's you. You, in fact, are part of your problem. Matter of fact, you are the biggest problem. Because whereas you go through certain things in life and you're like, okay, I made it through that, but now you got to go through it again. And see, it's not their fault. It's not the last person's fault that you're still going through it. It's your fault. So whereas you think you're the biggest victim, you think the most wrong has been done to you, really, if you turn around and look at the situation with a clear mind, the last person ain't the person that told you to go to the next person. So what are you doing? You are your biggest problem because you enjoy the cycles that you are in. And you may not enjoy them, but why are you still doing it? Why are you still in it? Why haven't you cultivated change where change is due? You want a husband, but you don't want to be a wife. You want a wife, but you don't want to be a husband. You want a meaningful relationship, but you're still heavily a part of sneaky link culture. You think all men ain't, but you have a track record of going after men that ain't. Or on top of that, you may have a track record of chasing people and things that clearly do not want to be in your life. And regardless of if they're saying, oh, we want you around. We want you to work for us. We want you to date. I want to date you. What they're saying and what they're doing are two completely different things. And one thing I've also learned is I don't have to see everything for myself. I've waited for proof. I've waited for, I need to see that this company doesn't value me. I need to see that this man is lying. I need to see it with my own two eyes. Baby, you got a gut for a reason, okay? And I'm trying to think right now. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. I'm trying to think right now of any time where my gut was wrong. And it hasn't been. It hasn't been. Sometimes even just leaning into your understanding of knowing that when something literally is not sitting right in your body, you don't need to wait for the proof. How many times are you going to let your gut scream at you in order to get the answer right? Every single time I was in a bad situation, whether it be employers, whether it be men, whether it be whatever, I had red flags. There was plenty of space and opportunity for me to discern the situation and say, this situation is not for me. And I know that because this is my boundary and you're tap dancing on them. It's just cute right now because it's a dance. But once you start stomping on them, I'm gonna get mad and then I'm gonna be like, what's going on? You allow the things that are happening in your life to happen the way they are happening. And whether or not it's because you feel like you have no choice, you feel like there is no other way, you feel like X, Y, and Z, let me tell you right now, there is another way. And you do not have to allow what you don't want. You do not have to allow people to keep pushing and poking your buttons to just see what's gonna happen, to just see how far they can take it, to just see what else they can get out of you. How much more is she gonna give? Oh my gosh, this is great. Do you know I had an employer that I worked for as a contractor, and this man told me I was like 6 people working. He justified to me not hiring as many people as we needed for an event, told me I was like 6 people working, and still paid me the same as the people as I was training for the event. Well, just paint my face in clown paint, because do you think anybody was holding a gun to my head forcing me to work this event? They were not. Do you think that this company gave me ample signs that this is the way they worked? They did. But do you think that I took those warnings and those red flags and did what I needed to do with them in the beginning? I did not. And that's why I worked with them for 2 years until finally they showed me their, and then on top of that, you pray, God, show me, show me, show me. God, show me what I need to see. Help me make the decision. And God is like, well, dang, I don't know how much more clear you want me to make it. So now things get disrespectful. And now you're not only disrespected, you're pissed off because things get disrespectful to the point where you're like, I can't believe. And God is like, I mean, we could have left it on a much more simple note, but you weren't taking the hint. You allowed it to build and build and build and build and build until basically you get your slap in the face. And now you have to go on your way because you don't want to take it from the beginning. Take heed to how people treat you early on. Take heed to how people feel about you early on. You can tell by how they treat you. Their actions will make it abundantly clear. Do not make them draw out a map for you that points you in the direction of we do not give a F. Because then the only person that's going to be hurt is you. You're going to let people drain you and pull you and probe you and push you in certain directions to do certain things. People will empty you of everything you have, all because you let them do it. Baby, it is not them. It is you. You knew who they were. You knew what they were doing. You knew what they were capable of. You keep choosing this naive posture if you want to. That's on you. It's not on anybody else, because nobody ever said that everybody in this world was going to be bunnies and rainbows and was going to treat you with all the respect in the world that you deserve. Nobody ever said that. It is your job to find the people who respect you. It is your job to find the people who support you. It is your job to find the people who will actually be committed to you and loyal to you and love you. It is your job to do that. You think there ain't no little demons running around. You think the devil ain't real. Well, you're going to find out with that attitude. All I'm saying is, if you want different, choose different. If you want different, pick different. If you want different, find different. Stop chasing the same thing because it's familiar. You're familiar to toxicity. Familiar is not the place for you to go. It's time for some change. It's time for something different. And I believe that you deserve it. I believe that you're going to get it. I just hope you believe the same thing. Because sis, it is not them. It is you. Remember what you deserve. Pray for discernment. God loves you and he wants the best for you, and he can't pick for you. Okay? He can't pick for you. Just keep that in mind. But yes, I will see you guys in the next episode.